Hello, Cancer. Thank you for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn, Supportive Oracle Cards, The Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. I think I got a scratch on this box. How'd that happen? Huh. Alright. Already shuffled. Cancer. What do we have? Okay, is somebody working around you a little bit? We'll have to find out. Somebody's working around you or something. It's definitely something like that. It's almost like somebody's trying to keep something from you a little bit. Is this bad or good? Not quite sure yet. Oh, you have one upside down card. Well, look at that. Oh, you're not seeing something for what it is. Okay. These three cards are leading you in. Wasp, Stag, and the Giraffe upside down. Did I say Stag? Yep, Stag. There's a moment here where you just got to lay it on the line. It's almost like you're watching one of your friends or one of your family, one of the two, treat somebody else you care about poorly. It's like you care about this one, and that one's treating that one poorly. You care about them both, but you're just like, listen, I can't say that that's okay. And that's the Wasp coming in with the Stag. But I'm also getting like there's more going on to this situation than you realize. It's almost like you're seeing two people argue. And maybe they're in a relationship. All you're seeing is the person that's upset and the stuff that they're saying. I don't feel like you're understanding what's been going on behind the scenes. There's like a whole bunch of things going on. That's why Giraffe is reversed. Because there's a lot going on behind the scenes. It's like this one person is doing things to the other. And they push and push and push and push. And then this person just finally gets fed up and blows up about it. And it's kind of a public spectacle. But people don't see what's really been going on behind the scenes. And they're kind of private about it. They don't want people to know what's really going on. And I'm feeling that's how this is starting off. You're like telling somebody, hey, I don't like that. You got to knock it off. This isn't right. I can't stand by and say that's okay. Meanwhile, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that you don't know about. But this person isn't talking about it. They don't want you to know what's been happening. Like, they're trying to keep it private. The second person who's getting yelled at knows this and is kind of playing it to their advantage is what I'm flat out getting. Things seem to move back into focus. Things are going back behind the scenes again. Whoever got upset, they seem to be like retracting whatever happened or trying to make up for it. They want to smooth it over and make everything look nice again. And I'm getting like you're paying attention, and you're a water sign though, or at least if you're watching this, you're probably a little bit on the intuitive side because it seems to me like all the water signs are a little bit intuitive at the very least. You're hopeful for the situation, but I'm getting like you just have that weird inkling like something just seems a little off still, but everybody's getting along. You're getting along with them. They're getting along with you. They seem to be getting along with each other. You're not interested in starting problems where there doesn't need to be problems. But still, when I'm getting the King of Swords with the Grasshopper, I'm getting you're kind of clicking in to kind of like, it looks good, but maybe something is a little off. You're hoping you're wrong, and I get that's the leap of faith with the Grasshopper. Like, you want to believe that things are as good as they look, but it's almost like my mother told me once, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. And that's been like really smart advice throughout my life. I'm just saying my life has worked out that way. If it looks too good to be true, probably is. That's just, it's been if somebody's trying to hand you a free $1,000 bill, it usually has some type of, rider or whatever you want to call it. There's something that goes along with that. Usually, that's one of those things. Looks too good to be true. It's kind of like those scams they put out there with like, I need to cash a check for $4,000. I'll give you 3,000 of it if you just send me 1,000. That's all I ask for because I'm having a hard time cashing it for whatever reason. Meanwhile, you cash that check, supposedly give this person $1,000, then that check bounces, and you're stuck negative 4,000. Well, negative 1,000 for because you gave that person that 1,000. I'm just saying. Too good to be true. That's all I'm saying. So but you're getting along with people. So it's kind of like you're letting it be. Now this is all about what's going on outside of your frame of reference, what you're not seeing. So if the first part hits and you're like, yeah, I know what that is, I know what that's talking about, because it doesn't have to be family, it could be a work-related thing, wherever you're seeing it happen. There's a very strong history here. There's a strong history where one does more than the other. And just they get to the point where they just don't have any more to give, and they try to, get the other person to give back, and then they get really upset when the other person won't give back. That's what I'm getting. Somebody who gives and gives and has for a long time, and when they finally need something in return, it seems so minimal, and this other person won't give back to them. It's kind of like this is somebody who takes care of this other person, picks them up, drops them off, makes sure they have enough money, makes sure they have enough food, and then one day they just need somebody to help them drop off their car so they can get their tires changed, and they're just like, oh, I'm not going to do that. That's too far. I don't want to do that. They could do it, they just don't want to do that. And then they flip out. Like, you can't help me with this one little thing? I bend over backwards for you daily, and you can't do this one little thing? Like, I feel like this is kind of like the realm of what we're dealing with here. There's a history of this, too, by the way. This other person is very much like on their own terms. I will help you on my own terms. I will not help you on your terms. It's one of those things that's going on behind the scenes too. It's what you're not seeing. They come off like they're willing to help, but they're willing to help on their terms. It's almost like they won't give this person a ride because they're like, well, I don't want to do that. That doesn't fit into my convenient schedule. I don't want to actually leave a half hour early from work, or I don't want to leave a half hour early to get to work to drop you off, and then like, I don't want to get up a half hour early for you. I don't want to do that. Stuff like that. They're like, that's not on my terms. Like, if it's not a big deal, I'll do it. But if it's going to take me out of my way, or if it was their idea, then they'd do it. Koala just makes me feel like that's something on... The koala does what the koala wants. That's kind of what I feel. It says spirit has your back, or spirit has a plan on that one, but it's kind of like, that's what I feel with koala, just to be fair. What's going on around you as well is other people are stepping in and helping the situation balance out. People don't seem to be bringing this forward to you. It's almost like people don't want you to know the truth about this situation. I don't know why. I don't see why that's such a big deal. The crow's coming in with the Three of Cups. And crows kind of take care of their own. So I feel like somebody else is coming in here to fix this situation. There's people working together, helping this person out. This person who needs to drop off their car and they need a ride. Somebody else is easily stepping up to help them. But this other white raven, it's kind of like this other person could have done it, but now they seem to be validated. They feel validated, kind of like, see, I didn't need to help you. I didn't need to go out of my way. Other people could have helped you, so why are you so upset? There's a weird energy here. It's kind of like, well, because I help you all the time, and you could just get off your butt and help me just out of a little bit of gratitude. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm getting. This is all going on outside your realm. I feel like I have to keep reminding you of that, because you're not seeing this, but they're trying to tell you what's going on around you. That person who bends over backwards is continuing to bend over backwards for the other person who just will not help them unless it's on their terms. It's a really strong imbalance out here. This is very out of balance is what I'm getting. This is not right. The way this is working is not fair. It's a situation that has definitely, it's lopsided. One person is giving way more than the other. And one person is taking way more than they should be. This is what's going on. It's a cycle that's perpetuating is what I'm getting. The flow, it's going back into the normal flow. When I get turtle, that's what I get with this card. Flow, getting into the flow. It says slow and steady wins the race. I don't know. I don't really feel that with the sea turtle on there, but if that works for you, whatever. But I'm getting there's problems lurking behind, lurking under the water. It's almost like this turtle's being stalked by a great white. I think great whites eat turtles, sea turtles anyway. So it's almost like there's more problems going to come up later. This is an imbalance going on here. This is what's going on outside of your sight, outside of your realm of knowing. but you're probably having an inkling that something isn't quite right. For those of you this is going to really hit with, I feel like you're going to be like, yeah, I've been feeling like something's a little off in that situation. I just couldn't put my finger on it, or I was wondering if that's what was really happening or something like that. It's a situation where one person constantly gives, and when they want something in return, it's usually something fairly minimal, and it's just kind of like, well, I don't want to do that. That's not on my terms. I'm not going to help you because it's not on my terms, and I'm getting that energy. Is this something you need to be involved with? Well, let's see. The Hanged Man is telling me the situation is not improving. This is continuing on. This is not changing with the Hanged Man. Buffalo comes in with the Eagle Spirit. The person who's giving too much, they know something needs to change. They just don't really know what to do about it because they do care about the person that they're over giving to. They're giving too much, but they care about that person. So they kind of feel like they're stuck in a catch-22. They do understand that they need to change something, but it's one of those situations where they feel like they have more than enough to give and they seem to care about this person, but this isn't good for them nor the other person is what I'm actually getting. Buffalo makes me feel like everything's provided for. Everything just keeps getting provided for. That's one of the terms of Buffalo. This says the abundant universe will provide, but when I'm feeling this, it's kind of like somebody's taking advantage of that and not giving back. It's kind of like they just keep killing the buffalo and taking everything they can, but they kill the young ones and the ones that are supposed to be breeding, so all that's left are the older ones and the older ones that can't breed, and the numbers are dying down. Like, this is abusing the buffalo is what I'm getting. This person with the Eagle Spirit, the one who's overgiving, knows that this isn't right and just doesn't seem to know what to do about it. This is where I feel you come in. This is, like, you need to be able to talk to this person. I feel like you need to kind of get involved with that situation again and kind of, like, start a pleasant conversation, because I feel like this person will open up to you if it's just one-on-one, it's very private. It needs to be private is what I'm getting. Because I'm getting this Two of Cups energy with this person. It doesn't feel romantic. It seems like mutual respect. Like, they care about you and trust you. You care about them and trust them. But they have to feel like it's, it's private. They won't seem to bring it forward unless you start it either. For some reason, I don't feel them bringing it forward. But if you start the conversation, and I feel like this is a conversation you want to start, this matters to you, I'm getting you can get eye level to this person and get this person to divulge what's really happening and why they got upset that one time, what you don't know, because I feel like you'll have a different version of this. Part of this is they don't want you to look at this person in a negative light. The person that they give too much to, they don't like people looking at that person in a negative light. And that's why one-on-one they might open up to you, because they kind of trust you to not do that, even though the situation is out of balance. But they seem to trust you to not start like a gang up feeling, or not to like go at that person or start giving that person a hard time. You're going to go to their side, but you're going to keep it private. They trust you to keep it private between you and them. They just need some time to talk it out, and somebody else with other ideas to give them other ways to handle the situation and explain to them why, pulling back on the overgiving is not only good for them, but the other person as well. And I feel like you can do that. You got wisdom here with the owl. I feel like that's wisdom anyway. You see clearly now. It's like when you understand what's really going on, that changes how you feel about the whole thing. It kind of, that little feeling you have in the middle of your chest, like something's off, that feeling is satisfied. So you're like, aha, this is what's been bothering me. You also have the Squirrel Spirit, which makes me feel like at first you don't know what to do with it, but there's a lot you have to pull on. You got a lot of history. I feel like when I'm feeling this Cancer energy, there's a lot of references in your past where people have taken too much to the point where you finally had to cut it off or shut it down. And if you really think about it, there are situations where you kind of redirected certain energy because it was getting to be too much. And you can give this person good advice. It's just you got to connect with it and see it from a different perspective. Like, don't look at it so literally. Look at it like, just think of like situations where people have taken advantage of your generosity in the past and what you've done to correct that. You've got a few examples in your history is what I'm getting. And you can use those in different ways and give different type of, like, It's kind of like, I used to have a horse that was biting people. I didn't have a horse. This is just an example. I used to have a horse that would bite people. So to stop that horse from biting people, I would put like a protective muzzle on it. But you're like, well, you don't have a horse, but you have a dog, and you have a dog that's biting people. Maybe you could put a muzzle on the dog. It's different. You don't have to have it on all the time, but this is how you can make sure that the dog doesn't bite anybody when people come over to visit. Just an idea. This is kind of the difference I'm saying. Like, you, maybe not the exact same situation, but similar enough to like, well, it's not the exact same situation, but you can do it this way to make sure that doesn't happen. There's always enough. The koi fish. This always makes me feel a Pisces for some reason. Be open to new ideas. Just brainstorm with this person. Brainstorm with them. You might have other... See, this feels intuitive to me. It says koi fish, there's always enough. And I feel like if there's always enough ideas. I feel like when I'm getting this, like, you might just come into just random thoughts, like this random ideas. Here's an idea, what about this? Here's an idea, what about that? Maybe instead of, making this person food all the time, how about you just, leave them leftovers? I already do that. Oh. Alright, so if that doesn't work, maybe just leave them some box dinners that they have to put together themselves and just go out and do something for yourself. Go hang out with somebody else. Go to somebody else's house for dinner. Just see what happens with them. Let them figure it out themselves. Yeah, but they don't really know how to cook. I don't even think they can boil water successfully. There's YouTube videos. Tell them to search it up on YouTube and figure it out. But leave it to them. Oh, I guess that's an idea. I feel like things like that are coming forward. You're helping this person figure out other ideas. That's the main thing about this. You're getting this person to consider other ways of handling this, to rebalance this. It's not going to be fixed in 2 seconds. I just don't feel like it's going to be a quick fix. Because if anything that becomes a quick fix here, it's kind of like people starting a crazy workout January 1st. It maybe will last a month, but then people start to hate it, and then they walk away from it, and it just fails. That's what I feel like this would be. So slow and steady does win the race, and that was here, but not in this part, but, slow changes, little changes, gradually improving this over time. I feel like we'll be stable. It will also keep it, because there's also a thing, if it's too harsh of a change, the person who takes too much might find somebody else who will give to them too much and just kind of move on in that sense, and that's not helping either. So just be open to the possibilities. Help this person brainstorm. Be their ally. Be their ally. I feel like this makes you feel really good because this person means a lot to you. Just be their ally and help them consider other ideas. That will start the improvement process, and it will move forward better. Then and they also have somebody to confide in, to where they feel like you won't use this in a way that they don't want. They don't want this going back negatively against the person they care about, that they overgive to, and they trust that you won't do that. So it gives them that comfort to confide in you without it going in a negative way, which also keeps them open to finding more possibilities, trying to change things, finding different ways to handle things. They trust you like that. And I feel like you care about this person to where this means a lot to you too. So just staying open to possibilities and helping them figure it out, being their ally, makes your life better. I feel like you like this. This would work out for you. Are we good? All right. I think we're set. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.